know me now. Diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. Big time, lot of sun. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me. Yeah. Big time, big time, big time.
Welcome to episode 259 of Fourth and Jawn. I'm Gail Saunders here with Evan Hollywood Hearn and Mr. Prime in the building. It's good to be back. It's good to be off the road. We're talking about how many, do the math, 32 hours of driving over the last week. Very, very well worth it. Tonight we're talking about, a little Senior Bowl recap. I'll go over some prospects that I really fell in love with. Some guys I'm a little down on, but overall, a big shout out to Chris Malley, just holding down on the road, also on the field, practice after practice. We were, it was kind of like you had to you look at this player position group, I look at this player position group, kind of like go over our notes. Really just a solid week, but we were just out there grinding. I'm telling you, man. Shout out to Jim Nagy from the Senior Bowl and the Senior Bowl staff. They put on a phenomenal event. If you haven't got a chance to go down there, or you get the opportunity, it's a great event. And there's a lot of little stories that I'll just tell throughout the show. But overall, just a moment that I've been waiting for a long time in my draft geek history. So just the opportunity to be down there, see it for myself. That was the one thing that, I took from, you follow guys over the history of me following the draft, and you go by their word. There's guys that you trust, and you gotta have your guys that you trust. But now that you got the opportunity to be down there, you can trust your own eyes. So it's like you can use your own notes and kind of like make up your mind even faster than whether it being just reading something or watching something on YouTube or all 22 or whatever. But just being down there, you get a different feel for the atmosphere, the mental of some of the players, just getting an opportunity to just talk to players and get your own little nuggets that no one else might not be getting. But I thought that was just a great experience. But yeah, man, the drive was insane, but it's cool. I think I could be a truck driver. I think I might change my career. But how are you guys doing today?
I'm hanging in, man. I did a fraction of the amount of driving as you did this past week. I actually tried to, once I parked my car in front of my house, I tried not to move it for a few days. So I'm on a completely different wavelength than you as far as being tired right now. Dude, I feel for you. Like, honestly, I was thinking about you on those car rides. I'm like, damn, he is. That's not one, but two solid consecutive days of all day driving to and fro. So that's a lot, but it seemed worth it, man. I mean, you went down there and absolutely just kind of took over, bro. I mean, everyone from you were involved with the journalists down there. You were shaking hands with all the prospects. You got a lot of information, little nuggets to hopefully share on this show. And I will say, I was listening to 97.5 during the week. I was cracking up because there was one practice that ended up getting rained out, if I do remember. and there was a beat writer that called into the Mike Missinelli show, and he's talking about they're asking him what he's seen today, and he had to say, oh well, all the reporters were locked out of practice, we weren't able to get in, so I got really no notes to drop on you today. And that was the extent of the conversation. Meanwhile, I'm texting Gail, I'm like, yo, so you're in the door, right?
Yo, because the situation was, it was like I'm like, it's my birthday. I'm like, if practice is gonna get canceled.
Happy birthday on air, by the way.
Happy belated, bro.
Appreciate it. I was like, all right, if practice is gonna get canceled, I guess I'll go to New Orleans tonight. Then I shout out to Jacob Walker, who gives me the tip. He's like, hey, don't come down here, dude. It's bad. Like you could.
He's talking about in New Orleans.
Yeah, because the storm was coming, so he's like,
Gotcha.
"Don't come down there." So we reversed the like we go to a store and
Well,
me and Chris are sitting there like, "Yo, what are we gonna do in Mobile, Alabama right now?" I said like, let's go. We're going to practice. So we get there and we just figure like, all right, we're just I mean, it's not like we were trying to like cause a stir or anything. Like just we came down there to cover this event, so we just walked through, and if they say no, they say no. So we just walked through and had a great time, and just we had our Eagle stuff on, so it was like appreciate you, Miss Bergang. So it was just you get this opportunity where you're sitting behind Andy Weidel at practice, and you're really like, I'm looking at who they're looking at, but you're also like standing next to Dan Marino, and you're like, Dan Marino's to my right of me. Let's play cool. The whole scouting staff's over here. Todd McShay's roaming around. The vibe and the energy was way different from being there day one and day two outside. Indoors, it was much more intense. I mean, every single GM is just lurking and sitting around, and their crew is right there, and just every single draft analyst I respect is there. So I'm like, and then your boy sends me one of your boys sends you a message that, dude, I see you on the ESPN coverage thing, and like it's just crazy. And just looking at Chris, he'll be down that way, and I'm just like looking at him like, we're here.
It does have to be crazy, man. I mean, you're just surrounded by NFL talent, guys that are going to be taking over the league, and like you were able to bump elbows with them. I saw a video as well of you doing the what was that, the field goal challenge or?
Oh yeah, we did this little field goal challenge.
Yeah. That was horrible, bro. That was horrible. I'm gonna be one to go ahead and call you out on that.
I had 4 throws.
Okay, that was my worst. You took the video of the worst throw then, because when I saw that thing go wide right, I'm like, what the hell is that?
I had like 4 throws. I came close on the other ones, but shout out to Adam Bolden. He's the CEO of Sweat clothing brand. Hooked it up.
Oh, that's a nice hat, dude. I like this. You gonna hook Josh Sweat up with him?
I already talked about it. It's like, yo, you need to get Josh Sweat. He's like, I know, man. I already talked to him. But he's a fan of the 4th and Jawn show, and just randomly, I mean, this is the kind of things I kind of talk about. Like, you just go out and experience things just happen. So we're at the Senior Bowl practice. He rolls up, dude. I saw you and Chris. Yo, man, I just wanted to say what's up. I'm Adam. And then it's like we knew each other forever, dude. So he's like, I've been listening to the show a long time. He's like, hey man, we should hang out. We ended up hanging out the night before, and he had a photo shoot Friday. So with half the squad, I mean, I'm talking like, Jermaine Johnson was there, Kobe Bryant, all the like half the prospects were there. And then so we did this little goalpost challenge, $50 buy-in. Not bad. I was like, whatever. I'll do it for the experience.
Of course.
I was gonna catch an L. I thought.
Hey, it's donating. That's all.
I mean, one guy on the side, I forget who it was, hit the goalpost 3 times. Wasn't even playing with us.
Wow.
And I'm like, who are you? I'm like,
let me read your draft profile.
I was like, bruh. But I mean, it was just like, just watching them, the camaraderie with the guys that they've developed over the week was cool to see. Everyone had their little cliques and stuff. Jermaine Johnson, to the point, like we all know, I've been geeking over Jermaine Johnson over the last couple of weeks, and at that point, he was like, I don't have to do anything else. I'm getting on the bus. I'll sign some balls, whatever. Like, I'm not playing in the game. His stock has risen to the fact that he might not even be there by the time we pick. So,
and I'm glad that you brought up the picks because I have the question that everybody here is sitting here wondering, at least me. We talked a lot about how this draft class doesn't really glimmer with QB prospects. Did you, with your own eyeballs, see a QB down there that is worthy of taking in the first round?
Of the first round, yeah. And it's like, I didn't go down there to look at QB prospects, but shout out to Malik Willis. Malik Willis was for me, he's the guy that stood out the most. I felt like, everyone talks about Pickett, nice shot of Chris. Yeah. Pickett was steady at it. Everybody knew what Pickett was, but I felt like Malik was the guy that had the most to gain. And now, like,
what was the most impressive part about Malik's game? Is it his arm?
He's got a cannon, dude. He's got an arm, bro. Like, you just talking about, he's got the rushing ability. Mm-hmm. He's got the legs. He showed that in Senior Bowl. Mm-hmm. But then you see his cannon, and you're like, he's got a little laser. So, like I'm saying, I'm not trying to start QB controversy over here, but it's enough that I was like, hey, man, if they fell in love with him, then I could see how they could fall in love with his game. I mean, he's got a great arm.
Well, man, look, I gotta say, I'm happy for the two biggest geeks that I know when it comes to the draft, man. I'm glad you guys were able to experience that whole moment. I was following day by day, watching the photos, watching the videos, and the content that you guys kept on putting. Chris was definitely having a ball. I saw that. You're definitely the road warrior, bro. I mean, there ain't no other title to go ahead and give you when it comes to driving. So, I mean, and I'm one to go ahead and tell you, I don't see it all, because half the time or most of the time my ass is sleeping while you're driving. So, I mean, I can vouch for that. But seeing all these prospects and these on the defensive side, that's the part that I'm most interested in. What defensive player really caught your eye? Now, we're big on trying to catch on linebackers, cornerbacks. I'm hoping that we go all defense on this draft, but at the end of the day, we're not the ones that make the decision. Which defensive player really stood out the most to you?
I mean, I'll start off right off the bat. It would be Jermaine Johnson. He really wrecked shop. I mean, you talk about a guy who, he's a transfer from Georgia. He's also was from Last Chance U. Played at Indy over there. For him to go to FSU and become the guy he was, ACC Player of the Year, I really thought he made. Talk about millions. Like, when you talk about a guy. This is what the Senior Bowl is about. You go down there, and this guy has made millions for himself. I'm not talking like one or two. He probably made himself like $6 million extra just by dominating the way he did. The fact that once you're on everyone's radar, it's like now you're the name. But just it's funny because like I got a chance to sit next to, for the first half of the Senior Bowl, I got to sit next to the first scout, female scout in the NFL. Shout out to Connie. She was amazing. But talking about like the prospect she had on her radar, she's a retired scout, but she's there and she already has her people, and she's saying names and you're saying your names back and forth, and she's like, oh, you know them, or you're up on him. Okay, who's your sleeper? And so you get this like these little geek moments between each other, and just like, but it's great to hear that she had some of the same people that I had on the radar. But Jermaine Johnson definitely made some money. Another guy, Boye Mafe out of Minnesota. He's a guy that I was well familiar of his story. He's got a great story. Really, just I think he made himself a lot of money. Like he went from maybe a third round to maybe talks of the back end of the first with his strong play. But definitely he had 2 sacks in the Senior Bowl, so I thought he played pretty decent.
So you got a good chance to not only watch these guys play, but also to get to know them on a personal level. Was there any guys that kind of blew you away, and like just based off the things that they said, and where you had a takeaway of like, man, this guy is built for Philly?
It's kind of like I'm trying to think. I know we made friends with the defensive specialist down there, Tariq Carpenter. He's a safety, but he's kind of like a hybrid player. I think he'll have an opportunity to he's like kind of one of the hybrid dudes. Like, he's big, got size, but he's lean. But Chris and him sparked up a really good rapport. Like, they would, you'd always see Chris. It's like, dude, you got on another outfit every single practice and stuff. I know Chris definitely had a good relationship with Logan Hall, Houston defensive tackle. He gave him his gloves. His stock is up. He could be a first round pick as well. He also talked about being on Talk to Prospect. So we're gonna have a lot of guys coming in, but I thought he made himself some money. There's UConn's Travis Jones. I think he made himself a lot of money. You're talking about, we all talk about Jordan Davis from Georgia, but if you're talking about defensive tackles, maybe later after, who might have been an afterthought, like this guy made himself some money right here. Perry and Winfrey out of Oklahoma, a guy who was
he balled out in the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, he's used as I believe a nose tackle over at Oklahoma, but the scheme shift down here in Alabama, he was blowing shit up. They couldn't they couldn't block him. So you're talking about guys that, we're all talking about defense. He's a guy that we could bring in here. Let's see.
Any safeties jump off the page at all down there?
Safeties not too much. I mean, Woolen, a guy, he's got the link, dude. He's cornerback, big size quarterback. He played fairly well. Auburn's Roger McCreary. He's potentially a first round selection. We also linked up with him before Senior Bowl week started. Offensive lineman. There's a guy, Zion Johnson, out of BC. He's made it. He actually had a really good practice. He played guard and center. He's one guy that could block Travis like this. He's Zion Johnson. I think made himself some money.
What about linebackers, man? Is there any linebackers that stood out? How about that kid from Georgia?
Yeah, he was solid, man.
Tyndall, I think Tyndall was his name.
Was it Tillard? I can't think of it. I know
I can't think of
his last name, but linebacker from LSU had a good week. I was talking about Chad Muma. I think he was a guy that I was asleep. He was like, all right, this will be my sleeper guy that I'll check out. He didn't have the best Senior Bowl. Like I thought he Chad Muma out of Wyoming. I thought I don't think he helped his stock that much. Who else?
While you're in that same vein of people that didn't exactly help their stock, is there anybody who diminished their stock, who came in real high and then after this Senior Bowl had a poor showing and now they've dropped?
I also talked about the tackle from from Minnesota, Falele. I thought he got beat by some edge rushers, for some fast ones.
Was he the one that got put on his ass?
No, that was it Denard? Yeah, Evan Denard. Actually, I saw him at the
bad name for Evans.
No, he had a pretty decent day, but overall, I just felt like anyone going against Jermaine Johnson was getting it. Who was the other guy? What was the question you were talking about?
Linebackers.
Oh, linebackers. It was
trying to show some linebackers some love, man.
Let's talk about the kid who stole the show apparently based off the first couple days. What about Christian Watson, man? Let's talk about that kid. I mean, you guys were like pumping him up heavy earlier in the week. What did you see that made you so excited?
I mean, I was watching his tape before I got down there. Talking about a guy, 6'4", got all the size, has the speed. Of the fact that he kind of played. I mean, he played. When you talk about small guys that can play big, like he's a big guy that can play smaller. So he's down there running in and out of his breaks. He got one of the best wide receivers on the down there. He was just making plays all day, whether it was rain or not. Like he went down there and did what he needed to do. That's another guy who raised his stock. Like he made him.
I love a small school wide receiver, man.
Well, that's the thing. Like I'm seeing him dominate at North Dakota State. Now he comes down here against the SECs of the world, and he's out here doing his thing.
Yeah, doing his thing.
And it's like no other. I mean, another guy. I fall in love with the small wide outs, you know.
Mhm.
It reminds me of myself, you know, a young Gale Saunders out here. No, but he was 5'9", 165. Like, so Calvin Austin the third. Like, no one could cover this dude. Like, talking about a guy who could come in, play special teams, a punt returner.
Do you think
Bro,
that's a guy to pair up with Devontae Smith though? Like to have two smaller bodied wide receivers, I don't know if it's a good formula.
well, I'm talking about, you know, if you how you feel about having a smaller guy to your unit that could be, when you're talking about versatility, right? This guy could come in, give you some punt return ability. He's got a punt return against Mississippi State, where he knows the rule, football IQ, right? He sees the football on the ground. They look at the ball. They don't really down the ball. He knows the rules, so he goes up to the ball while there's like 5 guys around, steals the football, takes it to the house to win the game. Like, go check out Calvin Austin punt return play. It's crazy. It's just like that juice, track speed, they couldn't cover him. Tutu Atwell got drafted in the second round. He's a small dude. I mean, this dude is telling you. We ran into some dude in Holiday Inn who coached with the Raiders or something, played with the Raiders or whatever. He was like, he's off our board. He's been lazy. I'm like, who? Like, he said Calvin Austin III. I'm like, yo, that's my dude. He's like, yeah, he's off our board. And I'm like, okay. But he just killed it the rest of the week. I don't know. But
hey, they're lost, man. I got a friend a high school friend whose son plays on the Rutgers Knights. Bo Melton, how was he? Like, did he stick out?
Okay. We're getting Bo Melton for the Talk to Prospect.
See Gale's eyes light up there.
Yeah, he did.
I've been watching a lot of Bo Melton. You're talking about a guy who his arc was down here and it just went up.
That's good.
That's what I wanted to see. I didn't mention any names on the last podcast, but that was who I was talking about. And his arc went up. So talk about a guy who can play inside and outside, you know, utility guy. He made some money like the last couple of practices. Shout out to my guy. I saw a comment about Greg Dulcich, the tight end from UCLA. He had himself a great practice and a great week. There's a lot of tight ends down there. Trey McBride of Colorado State. There's who else? Isaiah Likely out of Coastal Carolina was great. I think it's a deep class to get a tight end. If you wanted to get a tight end, I would not be mad at you. Let's see who else. Jake Ferguson had a good performance out there. Jeremy Ruckert as well. But I wanted to shout out Khalil Shakir, one of my boys' prospects. He works for agency, and it was funny because we're supposed to connect down there, right? So like it was like, but you know, I'm in this bar called Veets. It's like this bar where everybody goes to. Like if you want to have a drink with Mark Brunell, you probably do that. Like if we saw him like 3 times there. The whole coaching staff's there. All the scouts are there. All the analytics geeks are on one side. You have your football guys on the other side. You have former players like Antoine Randall. It's like
18-year-old Gale's going to hand in an application there, man, at that restaurant.
You know, Ian Rappaport's in there, like Albert Breer, Jeff McClain's of the world. Like it's a meeting of like all these like different people in the industry. We're playing pool, and Antoine Randall comes up. Hey man, who got next? I'm like, what's fucking Antoine Randall, bro? So I seen him on the field the next day, and I was like, dude, I said, bro, you never came back, man. I was like, you ain't got game? He's like, oh man, I just wanted to play. But
So I'm glad you brought this up because like I'm interested in the dynamic of what it's like down there during senior week. It seems like it's much more relaxed for the coaches and scouts after the practices end. But do you have any idea about what these players are up to when the practices aren't going on? Like, how are they filling their time? Are they just going back to the rooms and chilling, or
pretty much they're laying low? You know, they I know they were. I know, you know, some guys are playing video games, trying to relax a little bit. But I think some of them said the food was whack. They're like,
Oh,
"Yo,
really?
well, a couple of guys were like, "Yo, can you get us some barbecue?" And I was like, "Yo, I'm about to." Like, I'm about to. I was like, "Yo,
So were
where are
they
we gonna-"
just relegated to food from the hotel? Was that all they were eating?
No, they had, they had their
Catering
Senior Bowl
services and
catered
stuff?
food.
Yeah.
Well,
But if you're,
Evan brings up a good question because I was curious myself. Like you guys being there, with these kids and everything, and they're kids. What was their like mentality? You know what I mean? Like just being on the field, like their attitude. You know what I mean? Because I'm just curious. I mean, we're talking about these kids coming into the NFL. This is the future. With a lot of the bullshit that goes on. We're talking about Antonio Brown. We're talking about certain players that just don't know how to act, knowing that they've been in the league for so long and they still to this day don't know how to act. Like that's just the other thing that I'm pretty sure scouts and everything pay attention to, the players' mentality coming into the league.
well, the coach from the Jets, Salah, he was saying that you can hide some of this stuff at the combine. You come in, perform. It's a couple days. It's like very, it's still intense, but he said you can't hide your mentals from Senior Bowl week because you get to see how they process the plays, how they learn, some of their character over a whole week. He's like, it'll come out in Senior Bowl week. So the fact that they get their hands on them, see their practice habits, see how they are, I felt like you definitely see which players are mature. I mean, some of these guys are, they're just nervous, like, they get them in front of the media. Like some of them aren't as well spoken as some others. Some of them, it's fairly new, especially if you're a guy from a smaller school. The SEC guys are like polished, like guys that are, are super polished. I mean, Malik had a good rapport about him. Kenny Pickett he was the man, like.
Yeah, I think these guys take classes during the day for that shit.
Yeah, I probably do. I think Howell was a guy who came in. I think people thought Sam Howell, some people were up and down on where he was. I thought for how he's been talked about, I felt his stock went down a lot for me.
I mean, I'm kind of getting that. I know that you were talking big about Malik, but I'm kind of getting that vibe across the board from we've been talking about for a year about just how this class lacks a QB talent, a legit QB talent. But will Malik even be there by the time we're picking? I mean,
yeah, there's a chance he might not be. All right.
So then if we're stuck with the bottom of I don't want to say the bottom of the barrel. If we're stuck with lesser product, I mean, is there anything worth going for beyond Malik?
Like, for me, like, I mean, I feel like, am I gonna like draft Pickett? That's not really what I'm trying to go for. Like, I feel like if we're gonna, they said who was the quarterback that they said that they were looking at, or they spoke with Carson Strong,
Carson
from Nevada.
Yeah.
Like for me, like everyone's talking about his arm. Yeah, he's the arm talent. His deep balls were all over the place. He flashed. He's got the gun. I heard his knee was.
Sounds really similar to another Carson, honestly.
Yeah, like I wasn't like
accuracy really wasn't all that great during Senior Bowl neither.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like I think Desmond Ridder during the week, his practices were a little. I saw ball placement things that I was trying to see that him clean up at Senior Bowl. Then come game time, he looked great.
Mm-hmm.
He had a good Senior Bowl. He looked good inside indoor practices. Some guys got stronger as the week went on, but Carson Strong threw up some like punts, like when like they were deep, but they were just like I believe he did throw an interception in the Senior Bowl, but I was trying to keep tabs on Howie and Sirianni for a little bit.
Any as I was just about to ask you, any Uncle Donnie sightings down there, or do you talk at all with any Eagles personnel? Get in their ear at all?
No, like I did hang out with Chris McPherson and Fran Duffy and Tommy Loyler. Was there with Jimmy Kempski, the meme god.
Mm-hmm.
Was down there with Mike K. I spoke with Kempski. I watched half of the practice with Kempski. Mm-hmm. So it was definitely interesting just to be like, all right, we're here.
Were his notes full of stick figures?
Yeah, we were passing beams back and forth. But the other thing, we were sitting in the rain, like we were soaked. Like
there wasn't indoor practices or anything.
Just one.
Just the one that got
and
that.
They brought it inside, but then
Yeah.
all these scouts are here. It's like, yeah, we get to see Kenny Pickett throw with the with the wet ball, like because they want to see it. And he didn't have a good practice. He did not have a good practice in the rain.
Yeah.
Well, at least they got
but then he stepped it up from for the rest of the practice. We saw a bucket challenge where they're trying to throw the ball in the bucket. It was I think it was Zappy, and it was Sam Howell versus Malik, and then Malik won that. He hit the bucket twice, sailed one, but he came the closest. But you also got to see the rest of the team they were trying to make the other guys mess up, and then when Malik came on, they were like, shh. So he had the whole team rooting him on. So it was Malik I think Malik was a rock star down there.
Well, one thing that I feel like is kind of being understated in this entire offseason is I think ultimately by the time this next season starts that the Eagles are going to end up moving on from Miles Sanders. So that's going to be a hole that we're going to have to fill. Any running backs down there that you think are worthy of grabbing?
I mean, Brian Robinson Jr., he's a rocked up dude. Like he's a guy that
if you want James Robinson?
I'm not sure. I don't know about that one. Yeah, okay. But Brian Robinson, he's rocked up. I thought he had a solid week. If you're looking for that power, he could be that guy. You know, we heard some hints about Fournette interest or something like that. Mm-hmm. We'll see about that. But I felt like Ford from Cincinnati, he had a baby, so he missed out on a couple practices. But he was also a Alabama prospect who it was so stocked at Alabama that he went to Cincinnati to get some playing time. So his I think congratulations for having a baby. But I thought who else down there was
you should have had your ass at the fucking Senior Bowl.
I was telling Chris, like some football guys can be like, you know what? If I was me, I would have stayed and let my wife have birth, without me. There was a player last year that did that. I believe it was like 2 years ago, Kalen, I think Saunders or something. He had a baby, but his wife.
And then you got scouts making mental notes. That's like, all right, willing to lead this family.
Yeah, it was like football guy. I mean, but that is a real thing though. Those guys are looking for football dudes out there. Anyway, from Iowa, catch your eye. I'm not trying to think who was down there from Iowa. There's a lot of dudes to like follow. That's the problem. Like, you either got to go back and like rewatch practice like 3 times, or just like it's crazy. Yes, Mark, we are battling with the Kuipers and McShays of the world, but it is funny, like, because like PFF guys were there and they had their presence, and everyone's like, oh, there's your PFF guys, or like there's Draft Network guys. It was this like,
is it clicky down there amongst the various networks?
I think there's a little click. But us, we're just like go with the flow. And I'm sure somebody from Philadelphia media looked at us like, oh, they let you guys in here. Like,
I mean, yeah, we were the ones that got to attend every practice. I mean, I'd be looking at us that way too.
It's just like, but bro, like again, like it is what it is. Like I don't like we're out here trying to have fun and cover it like we want to cover it. But at the end of the day, it's just cool. I saw Mark had a question. He said, "Who's your favorite person you met down in the dirty South besides the dude who made the barbecue?" I'm gonna say I was gonna tell the story, but my boy Derek Hawkridge, he's an agent. He's been, and the funny thing is, I used to work with him on my former site, Skinny Post, and I used to see his takes all the time. I'm like, bro, you got it. You can be somebody in this football world of whatever you want to do. And him and his buddy used to create content. His buddy went on, Justin Lum, who went on to the Raiders media, won an Emmy there. Now he's with Arizona. He's a Fox reporter, Justin Lum, investigative reporter. So I'm supposed to get up with my boy Derek. of all places, I run into him at Beats. I just walk up to him. I'm like, bro, can I get your autograph? He turns around. He's like, oh shit. He's like, what are you doing here? And I say, what are you doing here, man? He's like, and I knew what he was doing down there. I saw his prospect, Khalil Shakir, who's also going to come on, talk to prospect.
Nice.
Down there doing his thing, and it's cool to see that growth of like your friends who follow their dreams, become an NFL agent. Now here we are in a bar in random Mobile, Alabama, talking about
Just
his
catching up.
prospects.
Yeah.
And just the fact that like, so he calls his boy Justin. He's like, yo, look who's here. And I'm like, Justin, what's up? And it's just like, it's just crazy. But
Small world type of thing. Yeah.
Linderbaum was not at the Senior Bowl, but I know he's a topic of conversation amongst the Eagle fans.
Yeah, I'm starting to think he's not going to reach us with all the talk that goes on around him. He feels like he could be working his way up the draft board.
Yeah, I mean, that's the funny thing. I know we were going to talk about we can geek it out and talk about Senior Bowl all day, but I know it's a whole idea of like after the Senior Bowl is over, you start to figure out the stock and who's risen and who's fallen a little bit.
I've officially come to the conclusion too that there's no way in any possibility that we use all 3 first-round picks. By the way, one or two of them will be traded, regardless of who it's for. I just don't see any plausible possibility of us using 3 first-round picks in the same way.
I certainly agree.
Now, when you say that, is that via moving up for prospects in the draft or trading them away?
I see the latter being more of a possibility. While there is guys that like are worthy of going and getting in the top 10, I think that Howie ultimately values future draft picks over, like I think that like a trade to move back and acquire something in the draft next year or acquire more picks later in the draft this year is a much bigger possibility than moving up personally. Do you think that there's anyone that they move into the top 10 for?
I mean, everyone's like, oh, Kyle Hamilton, like, people will put out these like, they'll put out these tweets and they'll talk about like Kyle Hamilton falling. I don't think that's gonna happen. Like, dude's like talking about game changer. You talking about? I mean,
every mock draft he's like top 4.
Yeah, like his skill set is just like that's like unicorn shit. Like, and then Devin Lloyd and like N'Kobe Dean. How many times are Eagle fans going to say those names? But we're talking about a team that won a Super Bowl with like Najee Good playing, and what's the name?
Nigel
Bradham, guys like that. If they can win a Super Bowl with those guys, talk about value. Yeah, they value the trenches. So we all know.
I thought Nigel Bradham was kind of decent, honestly.
I'm saying
I like Nigel Bradham.
But they didn't. But they didn't draft him in the first round. Like they got him as a free agent. So you can get a free agent linebacker and bring him in here, and that would be cool. But Devin Lloyd, he's not Micah Parsons. N'Kobe Dean is not Micah Parsons.
I don't need a Micah Parsons, man. Micah Parsons is like the best defender in the league. I just need a good fucking linebacker.
Yeah,
that's all I'm asking for.
But I'm seeing on the timeline people like, oh, he could be a Micah Parsons. No, he's not. No. He's not. That's. I just feel like we all know that they don't value linebackers like that. They value the trenches. So I'm looking at defensive ends. I've already took linebackers off my like your 3 mock.
No, that's the smart thing to do, honestly, because it's realistically knowing Eagles history, we cover every single Eagles draft that happens.
Well, I'm certainly not looking. Yeah, and I'm certainly not looking to get a linebacker in the first round. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just a linebacker though. We need it.
Yeah,
we need.
I wouldn't mind, bro. I mean, I know that you were talking to Browns people down there, weren't you, about my boy JOK? I was fucking vying for hard last year. That being said, obviously I'm happy with Devontae Smith, but he's a good player, man. And like the hype around him was real. He ended up having a good rookie season.
Yeah, I mean, the second round, it was either Landon Dickerson or JOK.
Yeah.
But I know Ev's still hurt about that one. But I mean, I think that
Hey
was
man,
Ev's first.
I'm happy to have Landon Dickerson. I think he's the guard / center of the future. But that doesn't mean that JOK couldn't have been the linebacker of the future as well.
True that.
I mean, I like that hybrid style. Like, it's just the fact of the matter is, like, they don't value the position like we do as fans. I mean, look at the way our defensive ends are set up right now. Like, I mean, Mr. Pinga down here is talking about, I mean, it's a good thing for our guys to play in the same system. It's not, they're going to have to learn something over if he doesn't come back. So if the fact of the matter is Gannon gets himself some better players in the middle of the field,
it could be a different scenario.
It could be another corner,
I really think a corner has to be one. Like, if you use 2 of these 3 first-round picks, I already said just 5 minutes ago, I don't think all 3 first-round picks are being used. But if you use in a trade to acquire like a cornerback or whatever, we need a cornerback that's a first-round value quarterback by the end of this draft, whether that's acquired through a trade or in the draft. A first-round corner to pair up with Slay, dude, that's huge.
Well, they're talking about Sauce is gaining more attention now, maybe than Stingley. Like, that's people are throwing out there, but Sauce is up there now. Like, I think
Andrew Booth as well.
Booth as well. Like, so depending on who they feel fits the scheme better, like those picks right there, you get me either of those guys, I'm good. You know what I mean?
Are you happy with McDuffie?
I'd rather go this route. Or if you're gonna go later, another guy that we bumped into down there, Joshua Williams, Fayetteville, the only D2 prospect to get into the Senior Bowl. And I sat next to his teammates down there, and I'm like, so I look over to my left, I'm like, are y'all the J Will fan club over here? Because y'all are hype. And they're like, actually, we play with Joshua Williams, man. He's the best player ever, man. He's so humble. I'm getting all these nuggets. That's like, yeah, it's the track speed for real. And they're like, yeah, he never loses. He's always the fastest guy on the field. But he's a long corner. So, like, if you're looking at, I just mentioned my guy Tariq. I think he's a guy that is big corners. You can find there's a couple corners in this draft. You can get them mid round, but I think Sauce would be like, that would be it. That would be like,
that definitely would be it.
Like Sauce and Slay. Come on, man.
Hey.
That's it. That already sounds great.
That's exactly what I'm saying, man. That's exactly what I'm saying.
If you have to trade one of those up to get a Sauce, I think I would do it.
I think I would as well. If that means that you're locking down the corner position for years to come, that's totally worth it.
Now, we all talked about Linderbaum recently, but then you look at Zion Johnson, maybe later if they want to trade back. You guy that can play guard. Do you guys want to tackle in the first round if it warrants it? Do you feel like our unit needs a potential?
I think that we have to start thinking beyond Lane Johnson. I think that his clock is ticking just because he's getting older. But I think that just based off of all the other holes that we need to fill immediately, I would be happier with an interior offensive lineman rather than a tackle at this point.
I would be patient enough to wait for the later round. Well, maybe like a second or third for that. I wouldn't. I don't know.
But like tackles towards the top of it, like you want to tackle a top tier tackle. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like they go in the draft early, and then it really starts to, get more in the risk range the deeper you get into the draft with tackles. Although, with that being said, we hit them in the rough in our Aussie King. That doesn't happen every time, though.
My boy Ray, shout out to Ray. Go check out his YouTube channel. I bumped into him down at the convention center. Also a Dallas fan. I'm not gonna hold that against him, but awesome at breaking down prospects. So make sure you check out his YouTube channel because he also has the sauce. He's a big fan of sauce down there. But definitely, if you want to see some prospect breakdowns, check out his channel. Matt was talking about Slay opposite of Russell. Hey, Russell came on, man. Like a second stint in Philly. I don't know about that.
It's not.
Yeah, yeah, but he did have a good year in Green Bay.
Mark says, "Do you like the cornerback from Florida?" I think you're talking about Liam. I'm not sure about that. I'm like I said, if I'm going corner, I'm getting the one. You know what I mean? I'm getting the one. You got to do what you got to do, man. Just like Evan, he's got to do what he's got to do. He's got to go to work. He's a man that wears many hats out here. Now, Prime, would you feel? Why would you feel about bringing back Russell?
I'm a fan of Russell. I wasn't really too excited at the fact that we let him go. I felt like we closed the door on him a little bit too soon, and you see the outcome that he had. He had a great year. I mean, now maybe it was just the system. He had a better system going on for him in Green Bay. I get it, and that happens to a lot of players, especially a lot of players that leave our organization to go to other ones. So, but I don't know. A second stint, maybe coming back and playing under Jonathan Gannon's scheme. Not say that he could go ahead and be the same, but I think there's definitely a whole lot more talent, especially coming into free agency. I mean, I know we're talking about Sauce, and that would be the perfect scenario, but there's free agency market is also looking good when it comes to some of these DBs.
I recently saw a safety that played with Darius Slay.
Yes, sir.
Andre Diggs out
Andre
there.
Diggs, yeah, saw that.
He dealt with he broke his fibula. He had some ankle surgery as well. I think he should be. It was a successful surgery. The fact that you can bring in a guy like they're like friends off the field. Like that's like they played together with the Lions. But he got injured week 18, so I feel like if they feel like he's healthy, they want to start the brotherly love, bringing. I like thinking like about Slay. He's out here recruiting.
Yeah,
he's
I
almost
see
like
that.
he's almost like a recruiter.
Yeah, he was definitely recruiting a lot at the Pro Bowl, and he mentioned Diggs quite a bit. So yeah, I mean, it would be nice to go ahead and see that combination because to be honest with you, after the fact that he had mentioned it, I started looking at some videos of them two in Detroit, and yeah, those two held it down. So I mean, like, hey, you bring that collaboration over to Philly, that could be very useful.
Adam Michael Gibbs says, out of these three, if all available, Booth, McDuffie, or McCreary, which way would you go? I think I'd have to go Booth. Booth's the guy that he comes down and he's a firm tackler. He's got some size. I take him out of the three. Mr. Pinga says, will they trade for Miles Sanders?
I think he meant to say Miles Sanders.
Will they trade Miles Sanders? There's an opportunity if they don't feel
possible, man.
Because look here, right? If it's his last year before of his deal, right? If they feel like they're not going to A, give him a deal, B, can turn it around, his value is pretty much you need to start running back. Here you go. Trade. I like it. It's not like we're on the hate Miles Sanders trade because we love Miles Sanders. It's just a matter of like, it's weird right now.
And it's the business, man. It's just the way the business goes.
Go get yourself another running back in the mid rounds and have had it. And then
I mean, a lot of people were definitely more big on Jordan Howard, the way he was running the ball, and Boston Scott held his. And hey, I mean, you had mentioned it not too long ago. There's a little bit of chat of Leonard Fournette. I mean, who's to say that doesn't happen? I mean, so hey, there is a potential for Miles Sanders to either be traded or let go, and we could probably see him in a different uniform come next season.
Now I see that we have who is this talking about? Adam Michael Gibbs talking some really good draft topics in here. Kenyon Green has been mocked to us here and there as well. You're talking about a guy. You're talking about a guy that could take over that role as guard for us. He's played tackle as well. So you talk about that versatility that they like. Kenyon Green could be a guy. No one gets over excited about interior offensive lineman. Like throw throw a you throw a throw a Zion Johnson out there from BC. No one's gonna be like, you know.
You mentioned Kobe Bryant earlier, but I mean, like, you didn't really like touch upon anything. Like, what was it like seeing him? Like, did he shine? Did
No,
he do his thing?
he shine. I mean, he was actually at the photo shoot that we went to for Sweat, and I'm looking at him because it's hard to like. You study their faces, but I did study most of their faces because when you're down there, you gotta like figure out who's
Well,
who.
you're there all week, bro. So yeah, I would
So I
hope
mean,
so.
it did work to our advantage when we were out there roaming around. Like, oh, that's so and so, that's so and so. But I was just like looking at him like, and then yesterday I was like, oh, that was Kobe Bryant, right? I'm like, but yeah, he had a solid week, but I felt like some players did get off on him. Like I posted a catch with Christian Watson in the rain. Just
Yeah.
got it off on him. So I mean, overall, I mean he had a solid week, but I definitely do have to go back and watch more intently on some of these routes. Like on my phone, I have I'd say about 100 reps on my phone that I'm still going through. Now, Sean Patrick is talking about Linderbaum, but centers rarely get taken first round and hardly ever in the top 15 and 20. But I think if you look at Linderbaum's game and the fact that the way he moves, I mean, can he be a guy that can get beat up by bigger bodied DTs? Because I mean, they say he's a little light, but 290 or something. But if you see that mobility and he fits in the scheme, he's got a mean streak to him. He's a guy that wrestled up in weight class in high school. He's got a mean streak to him. Ask Tristan Wirfs, who beat him in a state championship.
Hey, I mean, it's something that we definitely have to go ahead and touch upon because I mean, we still don't know what the outcome of Jason Kelsey is going to be, so we got to be prepared, for that situation.
Did you hear his couple quotes that made it sound like he might come back?
No, I really haven't, man.
Yeah, he made a couple quotes out there.
That's good to hear. I mean, I would love to go
I
ahead
felt
and have
I felt inside after reading.
Yeah, well, that's good because I mean, I would definitely love to bring that man back. You know what I mean? And look, you bring up the perfect person for today because I mean, 4 years ago, he had one of the most epic speeches. You know what I'm saying?
Prime got his Super Bowl gear.
I was there in the flesh at the parade. You know what I mean? So
I was on the left. I was there on the left side. Now Sean says my first 3 picks would be Sauce 1. We all can agree on that. Absolutely. Best pass rusher available. You talk about Ajabo from Michigan. You talk about now our beloved Jermaine Johnson, who
So who would be your second or third to go to? Because let's just keep it 100. Johnson's not going to be there for us.
I mean, he could. Oh, but the draft rumor stock kind of stuff. Everyone's like, oh, he's top 10 now. Like he might even be better than Aiden Hutchinson. Like everyone, like it's. I just think he displayed all what he needed to do at the Senior Bowl. You got Walker. Hey man, we saw Myjai Sanders from Cincinnati. If you go check him out from Cincinnati, he's a guy that you can get later. Laketta from Penn State had a good day. Who else? Kingsley.
I was just getting ready to say Kingsley.
I saw a little bit about him. If I'm butchering his name, I'm sorry. From South Carolina. His stock is up. He was also down there in the throwing challenge with me. He was down there. He did not win.
I'm not sure if you mentioned Zach Carter. Was Zach Carter? How did he look?
I didn't get Zach Carter.
Defensive line from now.
Let's see. He also mentions Traylon Burks. That's another topic of conversation. The wider receiver. We always know we have Devontae Smith, the route god, in the building. We also know we have Jalen Reagor in the building. We also know we have Quez Watkins in the building. We all look at the Super Bowl teams, 1, 2, and 3. You know, I mean, you want to think about building up this group. Traylon Burks, a guy from Arkansas who's got the size, who's got the speed. Look at it. Well, I think what he ran like a little. It was either an angle or curl against Alabama, and just took it to the house. A guy that big should not be moving that fast. It's very interesting. You got to check out Traylon Burks, man. Because you look at size. Like we all talk about bringing in a guy that has size, opposite of Devontae Smith. You know, I'm totally with that. You know,
So in the wide receiver category, beside was there anybody specific that pretty much stayed consistent within that week, or was it like a up and down with all those guys?
no, I'm just gonna say Christian Watson, Calvin Austin were the most like consistent. A guy I was looking at later, Alec Pierce out of Cincinnati, big body target. He's not like flashy, but you know. But if we're talking like draft first round, Garrett Wilson out of Ohio State, talk about a guy he could do it all. Definitely a guy who's can get separation. He's got explosiveness. Definitely has some. You're talking about what kind of guy you want in here. You want like a 3-level. You want like a 3-level threat. Debo Samuel.
See, I'm not big on the whole flashy guy thing. Just give me somebody like you see if there's somebody that I could compare on the type of wide receiver I would love to have again. I'm gonna go back to Jeremy Maclin. That dude, the way he came into the league, the way he came into our team, he was just smooth. You know what I mean? As the years went on, his swag started getting, but I mean, he was just smooth with it. So it was just like I loved seeing him play. And that's the type of wide receiver I would love to bring back into the team. That style.
He's like, I want you to be quiet. I want you to make plays.
That's it.
I want you to have no issues off the field.
Stay off of social media and all that other shit.
Well, I mean, and again, this is the great part of like being at the Senior Bowl and the people that you meet. You get a chance to meet like, you know, the most random people. Like I shout out to Michelle. She's like the assistant to Lincoln Riley. Like, you know, he's the head coach of. He's a guy that could have got a job at the Cowboys if he wanted. If the Eagles, I believe, interviewed Lincoln Riley, or they're trying to get Lincoln Riley to come coach. Like the fact that I linked up with her, we got a chance to talk about a prospect that, you know, a lot of people were talking about. Drake London, got the size, got the basketball resume, and I'm trying to like get because it's, you know, it's Drake London. It is Traylon Burks, and it is my fucking brain is dead after this week. Garrett Wilson out of Ohio State. Those are the names that you're gonna. If someone's gonna talk about wide receiver, those are the kind of names. But Drake London, where's number 15? Like
number 15.
Who wore number 15 at USC?
Oh, you talking about Nelson?
Yeah. And then he led the nation in contested catches. 19. Who led the nation in contested catches? Who also plays for the Eagles? Jaw.
Yeah, stop.
He had 19. But regardless of that, Drake London is a guy who's he literally went to USC to also play basketball and play wide receiver. So he's got that ability to like be.
I love the name too. I mean, it's perfect. Drake London.
It sound like a R&B rapper, like
Exactly.
Drake London's next album coming out. No, but so I'm talking to Michelle, and you know, she's like, you know, just talking about what such a good dude he is. You know, he's a great dude. He's not out here like flashy. You know, he's out here just doing the work. So it was just like, you know, he's got this catch radius that And they the analytics folks might tell you like, hey man, if he's making contested catches, that means he's not really separating. But hey, go back and watch Drake London. He's a vacuum out there. He gets a lot of targets, and if he's matched up with a good QB, he could be that big bodied target that you're looking at for. He dealt with injury, that's why he's still getting mocked in the first rounds, even though he dealt with the injury. But Jason says, how about Ridley or Adams?
Yeah, I'm glad you just mentioned those two and not the other one, because I'm not big on the
Not big on Allen.
Nah.
Allen Robinson.
Nah, this guy messed that up for me, man. Alshon messed that up. I don't want no more Chicago Bear guy.
It's like that, man. It's like that.
It's like that.
I mean, if you talk about Ridley, you talk about he's a route guy too from Bama. Yeah. I know he dealt with the mental things off the field. Adam, it feels like Adam is a 2-for-1 with Aaron wherever they go. They're gonna try and make that happen.
Keep that combination together. I can see that.
I know he can get tagged again, but I'm saying. So Todd is talking about bringing in Honey Badger as, hey man, you'd rather have Honey Badger over Diggs, is what he's saying. Okay, I mean, yeah, who doesn't love Honey Badger? Honey Badger has shown you enough over his time. Mark says Slay is his own machine, great ambassador and recruiter. I believe it, man. It's funny, guys will come in here and they fit like a glove. Who's the last guy, free agent, that we brought in? They traded for him. I mean, who's the last guy that we brought in recently that's fit like a glove like Slay has?
Well,
I guess Chris Long.
Oh, okay. You going that far back? Yeah, Chris Long for sure.
I mean, bro, he's still
the man.
God out here.
Yeah, he's still the man.
Daniel says, what is the most likely unexpected trade off the roster?
Stay tuned.
Yo, man, I mean, we'd all have to say like the most likely unexpected trade would probably be a trade of Jalen Hurts. People would freak out. People would
the timeline. I think Twitter was shut down. All social media was shut down. It's going to go bananas.
Now, Matt says, not Eagles related, but interesting. Kyler Murray deleted and scrubbed the Cardinals from all his social media. It was interesting, but he wouldn't be the first athlete to do that. Let's see. Shout out to LT. He says, glad I finally caught a show. I never get notifications.
Appreciate it.
Hit that notification bell, man.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do is hit that right corner.
Chime in, talk it up, man. That's what we're here, man. Todd says Kelsey is coming back. Mark my words. Daniel agrees. Let's see. Adam Michael Gibbs says Zack Martin went number 16 overall. I remember yelling at Matteo, hoping Jerry was going to draft Johnny Football. Quentin Nelson went 6, but he's a beast. Yo, Zack Martin is when I was at NBC Sports, doing as a draft analyst. I had Zack Martin going to the Cowboys, and I was so upset that they drafted him because he ended up becoming great.
Yes, he did. Gotta give respect where respect is due.
LT says, can you guys do a free agent show? It's tough to pick draft without knowing what we can close in free agency. Thanks. Okay. We'll definitely do that. Today was kind of like the Senior Bowl recap, and then kind of figure out what we want to do in the first round. Obviously, there's a lot of same sentiments in the comments. Sauce, Linderbaum.
And things change, I mean, the way we're feeling going into the first round could change within a couple of weeks. I mean, there's still, you got the combine, like Gail just mentioned, I mean, so that could definitely change our minds. And then free agency is going to be coming up. Got the draft coming up. So I mean, it could be a lot of back and forth when it comes to all that.
No, Adam said Alec Pierce was down at the Senior Bowl, right? How did Jalen Tolbert look? Tolbert had a good week. He was making plays out there. You know, Alec Pierce, definitely big. Him and Watson were the biggest body wide receivers down there. So obviously, I was checking how both of those guys did. Mark G said Macklin was solid first few seasons for show. Then he got injured, man. I was actually active. I was at the practice. He got injured, right?
The injury killed him for sure, man.
Yeah, too bad, man. Daniel says, "Will Howie stay the course and use the 3 for the best available, biggest needs, or do you guys expect some unexpected J.J. Rager or big trade?" I'll let Prime roll with this one first.
You gonna let me roll? Listen, ain't no unexpected. J.J. Rager, they gotta go. So you might as well go ahead and welcome back, bro. But you might as well go ahead and let these two roll out. And I've already volunteered to take him to the goddamn airport my damn self. So consider that done.
If we're gonna go for the first part of the question, I think it's just weird that the Eagles have 3 picks, man.
It definitely is. Right?
Soon enough.
Evan said it. I mean, we're not gonna. I don't see us having all 3 picks come draft day.
Now, do you now when we say this? No, I'm not gonna go there.
Go there.
He wants to
do it.
No, I'm saying that. Do you guys feel that after watching these playoffs, our franchise is feeling, because it's all about keeping up with the Joneses, right?
Yeah, but it's not how we feel. I mean, yes, we feel that way, but I
don't understand your question. Finish your question.
Well, I'm saying that
I know where he's going with this.
Yeah. See, Prime's right there.
I've missed 20 minutes of conversation.
Yeah,
I need to catch up.
Well, I'm saying after the Eagles front office and owners sons on the side of the field that we're at the Senior Bowl, if they're watching the playoffs, do you think the Eagles front office, feels a certain way about the QB position? That they're like, are they willing to be patient? This is I have the same conversation every week with someone randomly. Do you? Because they're like, what would you do? I'm like, well, what do you think our franchise? Do you think they have enough patience to wait for the development of Jalen Hurts, or do you think they're ready to hit the button because after watching how everything is set up after these playoffs, Aaron Rodgers may be on the move to AFC, Brady may or may not be retiring, whatever. I don't know. Is he retired yet? I don't know. There's an opportunity in a window. So, like, do you think this catapults them to do something? I'm not gonna say stupid.
You just almost said stupid.
No, something like a big, massive trade, or you think they keep patient?
No,
trust the process.
The keep patient isn't exactly in Howie Roseman's vocabulary. While I want to sit here and say that I believe that this is a play it by ear sort of situation, that's not really a responsible way to GM. I mean, he has to account for all circumstances, especially when it comes to the quarterback position. I mean, that's the most important position on the field. With you saying, did they feel like we were able to keep up with the Joneses after watching these playoffs? I mean, I'm not trying to say that this is the formula for winning, but I look at a quarterback like Jimmy G and him making it all the way to the NFC Championship game. And that kind of, to me, was a testament to building up around the rest of your team. I mean, Jimmy G is an average quarterback at best. I don't think he's anything spectacular. And I think that if you just build up a solid defense, there's a reason they say defense wins championships, man. San Francisco was carried way further than anybody thought they were going to go because they had a strong defense. And so that's kind of what we've been sitting here saying. That's kind of what Prime's been saying about, like, we should draft. I'd be fine if they drafted all defense this draft. We have other holes to fill, but I think that's the right direction. I think if we go defense heavy this draft, we can build up a solid team that we can win with a non-elite quarterback in Jalen Hurts. Is that a sustainable thing? No. Eventually, you got to get a quarterback.
Yeah, that's just the thing, man. And of course, it's just like how.
But this
we're
could
never
bridge us
looking
one
at it.
more year. That's kind of my mode right now. Is that I want to use Jalen Hurts as a bridge this next year until
been saying that.
and then we build up this team through this draft and through the free agency, and then we assess what holes we have next offseason. And we have hopefully less holes and one big hole to fill in the quarterback position.
No, I like Edmonds' way of thinking there. Like that's where I'm like, me the fan can be patient.
Mm-hmm.
But when someone asks me like, do you want to know what I would do, or do you want to know what? Because now everyone's like, well, I saw you down there with Malik Willis. Would you make that? I'm like, yeah, his arm is better than Jalen's.
Yeah.
Like we talk about laser. Talk about having to defend the whole field. That's what you have to think about. Like if there's some part of his game where defensive coordinators now know how to defend the Eagles easily or easier. Like you either have to get some dogs out here that get separation. And that means bringing in some a real, like that's what I'm saying. Like you can't have like our wide receivers have to get open, and not just Devontae. Because once you take away Devontae, so like if they fell in love with Malik down there, I wouldn't be mad at it.
I got to be honest, man. I just had a realization. I'm kind of crushed right now. I don't even want to say it, honestly.
Say it. This makes it juicier.
Dude, I'm starting to feel like, and don't get me wrong, like I just said how I want to bridge next year with Jalen Hurts, but I'm thinking about who is Jalen Hurts comparatively. You know the first name that came to mind? Taysom Hill.
Wow. Holy shit. Wow.
I mean, doesn't have the arm strength, really good runner. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Wow.
Stay tuned.
Oh, if we had one of those commercial breaks things, we're gonna please hold for commercial break.
Listen,
No,
man, and
that's-
I don't mean that as disrespect. It's
What
just like
the
I'm
fuck were you thinking?
That's
Am
kind
I-
of disrespectful, man.
Am I wrong? Are they not similar?
Yeah,
It may hurt to hear, but am I wrong?
Todd wants to put you in the bathroom.
That's fine. But let's be real about what we're talking about here. Like,
No, he's not Taysom Hill. But
Why?
I do feel like in terms of the way that they're both.
he's got slightly better arm talent than Taysom Hill.
Oh, he's not Taysom Hill.
I think
Mark-
you just don't want to think he's Taysom Hill.
Mark Bird said Taysom Hurts. Is that I think that's
Y'all know my opinion on Taysom Hill, man. I'm a Jalen Hurts guy, but
how could you say that?
because that's honestly how I feel. I'm
Is that
looking.
just-
I'm looking at
how the situation is being treated.
What do you mean?
Like, just the fact that, Taysom Hill, how much effort and how much they put into him being that next guy,
Mm-hmm.
but didn't get there.
The story
Still really isn't
the
there.
story's kind of uncanny, man. I
That's
mean,
what I'm saying. So it's just
like
like
you're
the treatment.
replacing a quarterback. They hyped him up to be this guy, and I'm not
Right.
saying that. Like I want you to. I want this to be driven home that I'm not saying that Jalen Hurts can improve, because I do believe he can improve. But if we're looking at who Jalen Hurts was as a quarterback last year, he lacked arm talent. He was a really good runner. He's an elusive type, agile player. But he's not exactly a prototypical quarterback.
It's
All of
just
those descriptive words sound like Taysom Hill to me.
But it's just all about the development and how much effort they're going to put into getting him developed this all season.
So Evan, with that being said, then you're in trade mode then.
Listen, pal.
You
I'm in.
Can't be putting it
I
on
just I
Napoleon
told
like
you
that.
what my stance is. I wouldn't mind if the Eagles bridge Hurts to next year. In the same vein, I would be totally fine if they did make a trade for a better quarterback. If we're talking about improving the quarterback position, why would I say no? That's the most important position on the field. I root for the front of the jersey, bro, not the back of the jersey.
I like your
stay tuned.
I like your millennial stance on that. Like you want it now, and you said it with your chest.
I stand by it.
So if Taysom Hill was here, you're like, all right, we'll bridge it with Taysom when we're here.
Nah, I hated Taysom Hill for way too long
he would not
to ever be okay with that.
He would not. That'll be the day.
Wow, Evan woke up a certain way. He did it right live on the show.
You know what's funny is that like we're sitting here. And I like it was one of those light bulb moments in my mind. I was like, damn, he's got all of the same fucking skill set as fucking Taysom Hill, dude.
But he's the better passer than Taysom Hill.
I'm not saying he's not, but like, okay, so he's Whole Foods Taysom Hill.
Whole Foods.
Hey, but again, like my thing is like if the league is looking at how our QB play is, this is why I am saying I can't see our front office being patient and waiting for if you're looking at these high powered offenses out here. You look at the Bills and Chiefs game and I'm looking at my dad like, yeah. My brother, I'm like, yeah, we ain't doing it. Yeah, we ain't doing that.
And I get it because Carson definitely didn't make that situation any easier for us. They put all that time and effort into him, his development, and look, it didn't get nowhere. Now, do you go and take that chance on another quarterback? So I get what Gail's saying, but I could understand what you're saying just as well, Evan. But again, what I mean.
No, and it's a complicated issue too, because like I am saying what I'm saying, but in the same respect, I don't want to be sitting here making rash decisions. Well, I feel like moving on from Hurts and making all these big blockbuster trades is a rash decision. But I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth right now. I want a better quarterback. I want to bridge Hurts. I don't know what the hell I want, man. I just want a fucking winning roster.
Oh,
I want to go to another parade.
That's what I want.
And now we figured out Evan's bipolar. He's got showing signs right now as we but I feel you though. Like me and Chris had this that was the top of conversation all the way from Philly to to probably about Tennessee, and we stopped, and then the conversation picked up at the Senior Bowl, and then it became any Eagle fan that we saw. What do you think about Hurts? What do you like? It became this argument of like, where do you see his development at? And then Chris had his opinion on Hurts, and Hurts, and Chris was more pro getting another quarterback, and kind of like, if you like, he likes Hurts as a player, but he was like, if you're gonna get a better quarterback, then go get your quarterback. More mainly for passing reasons, and again, I kind of feel this. I don't know, man. I definitely don't trust. I don't trust the front office with this situation.
I just and Mark, it's not so much that I'm confused. It's that I'm looking down the barrel right now after what I said, and I'm understanding the enormity of it, because once I have that thought go into my brain that he's Taysom Hill, he's not the guy in my mind. And eventually we're going to have to jump on the QB carousel.
Exactly why I said.
And find another QB. And I hate that process, man. I almost hate that as much as finding a new coach.
Exactly
that process
why I said.
Stinks when you are in the in-between stage of finding a quarterback. It's the worst. And that's why I'm not so much confused. I'm disappointed that that's kind of what I feel like we're headed.
Damn.
Evan doesn't know what he wants.
I just want dubs, bro. I just want dubs. I was handling business, talking to doctors about not this. Telling them how to turn their damn camera on.
Even from London, they're telling you that Evan doesn't know what he wants.
Hey, I think that the commenters don't want to hear what I'm saying. If you go and truly look at what Hurts has done this past season, I don't know how you can have a takeaway that wouldn't be that I'm kind of onto something here.
And it only took those 2 weeks of good playoffs football to mess that whole scenario up for us.
No, I mean, I just like I agree in the fact that if they don't feel like this offense can like I'm just trying to not that we are Lou or Larry or Howie, you just like if you own the football team and you Evan the owner or Prime the owner or Gail the owner, is this the kind of this is not the kind of passing offense that I want. I can guarantee you that if I'm looking at this and I'm paying for it.
But at the same time, I know going with a new quarterback is a risk. No, like this is just under the assumption that if you move on from Hurts, we can just pick another quarterback off.
No, I mean
that's not how it works.
No, I think that's exactly how it works. When you keep on picking quarterbacks till you get your guy, and I fully believe and stand by that. Like you keep on picking a quarterback till you have your guy. Like that's the one position I don't feel like you should skimp on. I feel like,
but what's the time limit on letting a guy develop then?
Well, I mean, in this day and age,
still young.
Yeah, in this day and age, it's like you're throwing guys to the wolves like week 1. Like back in the day, it was like year 2, year 3. Like look at Aaron Rodgers, got sat and waited for forever.
Yeah,
like in a perfect world, that would be awesome.
I feel like that's also more of like I don't think that happens as frequently as the other. I think it's more often that a quarterback just gets thrown to the wolves rather than sit behind a Hall of Fame quarterback for a few years and learn from him.
It definitely is because I mean you had quite a bit of quarterbacks that sit behind Tom Brady and they still haven't even
Jimmy G stinks. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. They haven't reached this level, so that scenario doesn't work out all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Now Morris says, really wanted a franchise guy here for 10 plus years who wants to be here. I think Hurts has that mindset, but he's limited. It sucks.
I think don't get me wrong. I think that Hurts has the mindset. I think he has the leadership ability. He's got the swagger. He's got all of the intangible things that you'd want in a leader. But can he go out there and have a cannon? That's also a very crucial part of playing the quarterback position. Can he zip the ball in there and not just float one so that the safety can come all the way from the other side of the field and intercept it on the goal line? That's also an important factor in addition to being a leader.
He's not going to develop a cannon.
That's what I said weeks ago. I said you can't develop arm strength.
Yeah. No, I'm saying we're just talking like I'm just saying not. I'm just saying in general, like you can't develop a cannon. Maybe I don't know, the accuracy, because usually
I feel like I killed accuracy. Should I not have come back?
I think you did. You did. You talk about
Smiley and hunky dory while I was gone.
Talk about
Taysom Hill.
Yeah, talk about Woj bombs, Evan bombs, and up in here.
I want to know who you talked to before you came back. That's the person I want to see. Names. That's the person I want to see. What did you do to my boy?
Now Leighton says we shouldn't judge Hurts until we get some veteran weapons on offense. If Hurts and Devonta Adams' stats would improve a lot, I believe, and that would free up Smith. But the other thing is, if you're talking about Devonta Adams, why would you, or like someone whose game was based off numbers and getting the next contract, the way our offense is set up, why would you come here? Like if I'm trying to get a contract, or if they sign someone on a 1-year deal, why would I come here if it's like a run first mindset right now? Like I mean, it could develop into something, but I'm saying.
But I don't also think that we're like it's not about judging. It's that we know facts. We watch the game. We watch the games every week. We've seen how this man played. We had no hesitation on calling him out on some of his faults. So it's not like we're all about Hurts. We would definitely, like Evan mentioned, we would definitely love to see him develop. So we're not giving up on him. It's just, again, we're talking about, because what we're accustomed to is what this organization does. They don't have the patience. So that's what we're pretty much preparing ourselves. We're preparing ourselves for the unexpected, and it happens. It can happen at any time. So that's just the thing that we're just getting prepared for.
I agree with Durley that accuracy can trump arm accuracy, but there's something that you need addition into accuracy, and that's timing. And he hasn't nailed that one down yet either.
Exactly. Well, and then the funny thing is, if you look at Russell Wilson in that challenge, QB challenge thing.
Mhm. Oh, dude,
You
he
talking-
ate it up, bro.
You talking-
Yeah, he eats it up when you ain't got nobody coming at
No,
you.
but he's still accurate.
No, but
man.
the timing of his throw. Yeah, no, I completely agree with you.
I mean,
I saw
he's
that
off
stuff.
surgery now. Like his hands healed. I think. Like the funny other thing that's funny on the timeline is people disrespecting Russell Wilson like he was good or anything. Now Ryan Clark says that he's not an elite quarterback. All I know is every time we play Russell Wilson, he is tore us up.
All I know is Russell Wilson really hasn't had a bad season since he's entered the NFL. Everyone's talking about how he had a bad season last year. It's like this dude, a bad season for him would have been a great season on the Eagles, man. Like, I don't know.
Ryan Clark is like, don't come at me on this, like cornery stuff, like blah blah blah. Like he's like, I'm just telling what it is. I'm like, go talk about Kirk Cousins, man.
Yeah.
So it's just like, why are you going at like Russell Wilson? He's a great quarterback. Does it mean does he have to be elite? It's just it is what it is, man. Like Russell Wilson been a gamer. He got a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Could have had 2 if they just would have gave Marshawn the ball.
Well, I mean, he's the one that
if they would have if they would have just gave Marshawn the ball, Oh man, like Evan just threw like a haymaker. But we did have I forgot who brought up that comment in the chat about unexpected, and we that would be an unexpected thing. Definitely would get the city buzzing. Right now, it's all about Harden trade. Can we make that happen?
Oh please, dude, I'm begging.
I got 3 breaking news today, and I was waiting for it to happen. It didn't happen today.
I thought you were about to drop it right here on the show.
No.
So man, today's the last day.
No, Thursday. Thursday at 3 p.m. I believe.
So you guys think this is happening?
Dude, I actually do, because like the way things like the smoke that's around this, it's like been heating up the past 2 days.
I just don't like the fact that Seth is included in it. That's all.
I haven't heard Seth being
Danny Green,
I mean,
now.
honestly, James Harden has hurt the leverage of the Nets a lot by saying how he doesn't want to play. And so he's kind of getting himself in a similar Ben Simmons sort of situation. And then he was also sitting out tonight again. So I don't know. To me, it feels like this thing's going down. And if we can get away without giving up Matisse or Tyrese, which they already said they're not going to give up Tyrese, but we can get away without giving up those 2 young guys. I wouldn't like to give up Seth either, but honestly, if we're bringing James Harden in, man, a superstar to pair up with Embiid, like I watch every single game sitting there thinking, I was like, I fucking hate Simmons, dude. Because if we just had one more solid player out there next to Embiid, we would be unstoppable. I think about that every single game. I'm like, why does this guy have to have his head in his ass, bro? If we just put another superstar out there with him, I think that we could win a title this year.
Man, 4th and Sixers going on right now.
No, I mean, I think Ben Simmons is Taysom Hill too. Fuck that guy.
No, I mean, like that's been a topic. I'm like, yo, my dad and my brother are like, any movement? Okay, go back to work. But yeah, I mean, we've been ending topics. We've been ending shows with food topics lately, and I just have to be really honest about barbecue in the South. I thought it was not that I thought it was a lie or anything, but once you have it, you realize what the hell are we doing up north?
What are we doing wrong?
Well, I mean, what are they putting a sock in there with extra?
Better than bulgogi?
Bro, they got these. I felt like a newborn baby. I was like, new taste. Wow, like everything that I ate was like. I had crawfish, and then I had like gator, which was kind of ass. I'm not gonna be. That was like everyone else loved it. Shout out to Louis DiBiase, who was down there from Lockdown. Did you get
fried gator, or did you like grilled, or like
fried gator? Fried gator. Yeah. But the barbecue had something in it. I don't know what it is. I just. Sauce? I mean, I felt like that's how these Southern boys get big.
Have you ever been to Mission Barbecue? They got like 6 different sauces, and they're all like Southern sauces. But I mean, probably not the real thing, like down there. What was the best thing you had down there? Single best bite of food that you had down in Alabama?
Cornbread.
I mean, the brisket was good. The guy, I had everything. Had everything. I had within a matter of 3 days. I had brisket. I had gator. I had something called Bushin balls. It's like
Bushin what?
Bushin balls or something. It's that, which was not good. It was all right.
Bushy balls.
I had crawfish. I had Cajun steak. I had barbecue chicken. I had pulled pork.
Dang.
I had turkey.
And did you see the video of him and Lou in a coma?
Yeah.
Oh,
you
I had
still meat
sausage.
sweating, bro?
I still got the meat sweat, bro. I had everything you could eat down there. And then we went back and got some more on Saturday.
Did you eat a W?
And then guess what I had? I had barbecue last night too. My first because I wanted to set it off. Like, all right, I'm gonna have some barbecue up here to make sure it's. I was like, damn.
I can't believe you came back and had barbecue again. That's like the people at the restaurant that would order a turkey hoagie the day after Thanksgiving. I'm like, what the hell are you people doing? Fucking go in your fridge.
I definitely had the meat sweats. I was like, yo, me and Chris, like, yo, we definitely eat salads for like 2 weeks straight. But
Chris
you realize
eating salads for 2 weeks straight.
but you realize you like the way they eat down there, man.
Yeah, butter on everything.
I'm kind of like
cholesterol problem going on down there.
I'm kind of jealous. Like we don't got that down there.
Yeah, we
up
got
here.
Higher life expectancy.
Oh, and then I'm not.
He went there. Yeah, this guy. He brought work. He brought work to the show.
Yeah, but the other thing was like everyone was mad nice. Everyone was like everyone was mad nice, and everybody loved Devontae Smith down there. It was the weirdest shit, dude.
Yeah,
for the most part, in Mobile, everyone was mad nice though. Oh, right. Bushin balls. It's Boudin balls. Yes,
Boudin balls.
Boudin balls.
Wow.
Does my man, does Chris know something
Maybe,
about? Does he know something about Boudin balls?
Hey.
I don't know, man. It was just like I tell you, I was like a newborn baby, like they're just feeding me all these different tastes. And then sweet tea.
Oh, dude, I've seen stuff before. Don't they like that shit's got like 100 grams of sugar in it? Like, yeah, that is insane.
That's definitely beatus tea because that's diabetes tea. That thing is. I was like, man, I don't know. I can't believe y'all drink this shit down there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Jacob says Boudin is fake unless it's from Louisiana.
Dang.
I went to this place called Walk-Ons. And everybody was just like, you ain't never tried this before? And I'm like, nah, we don't got that up here. We don't got Boudin balls in Philly.
Never even heard of it.
Ooh, I did have Cajun steak too.
Very nice. Very nice.
And on that note, I think we're all hungry.
Hell yeah.
I know, if you guys haven't subscribed, liked, make sure you do that on all our social media platforms. I know we have a Super Bowl coming up this week. Any big plans, you guys?
I
just
mean,
chilling.
Not particularly, yeah. Just hanging out.
Super Bowl party at the houses?
Probably, yeah. It's got to, I just moved in, so planned on having a little get together with some friends just to show them the place. Make sure they don't walk across the street where carjacker of the city lives.
Doing a little family Super Bowl party with the family.
Birthday, aka birthday celebration.
Yeah, I had ice cream cake yesterday too.
Nice.
Some
celebrating all week.
Evan, it sounds like our challenge is going well for me and you.
Yeah. Sounds like we won't be in last.
We definitely ain't gonna be in last, buddy.
Oh, is this for the weight?
Come down to the wire for me and you.
It's the weight.
You've just been clowning around, stuffing your face with barbecue.
Like you gained like 10 pounds.
When is this?
It started.
When does it end?
When someone reaches their goal weight.
So it should. I think
it sounds like it's never going to end for you, but
I think it should end when the season starts.
Hey,
That's
I'm with it.
fine with me.
I'm with it.
So the preseason, let's have like a hard number there. Then is it the first game of the preseason, first game of the regular season, OTAs? What are we doing?
Hey, as long as I'm not fat by the season starts,
That's not an answer, pal.
I'm good.
You just
That is definitely not an
got-
answer.
just die that shit.
Yeah.
What are you trying to lose? 50? 40?
Nah, it was
What?
20. It was 20, right? It was 20. That was that was the challenge.
I'm not
20
trying to chop
pounds.
my leg off, bro.
Yeah.
Go big or go home. I'm trying to lose 50.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go get.
Says the guy who still hasn't downloaded the walking app for 4 months now after I told him.
I did. I listened. I even got my daughter, my 4-year-old, walking with me. She's my inspiration. As soon as I come home, Daddy, you ready to go for a walk? Let's go, baby.
Nice.
You guys look a little slender in the face. I can see you lost like 2 pounds each.
Yeah, we're trying out here.
Talking about hot sauce. Shout out to the Rivera crew with the official.
Be careful with that bottle, bro. Can you please be careful with the bottle?
Yeah. I just want to be honest. I dropped the bottle the other day and cut myself. So I will be sending, my lawyers will be sending you some.
Way to go, Gail.
No. I was like, and the funny thing is, I was like, it broke on the ground, but I was like, I'm gonna waste this. So I was just like, I got some of the hot sauce on my hand and I just ate it. And then I realized I cut my fucking hand and my hand's bleeding.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think
Thank you for
that's a good point.
Sauce on top of sauce.
I got shout out to we have the Run Eagles Run hoodies that I got to get you. Shout out to I forget. I'm so bad.
Fucking guy.
I'm so bad.
Come on, guy.
I'm so bad. Put it in the bathroom.
Maybe you'll think of it by next show.
Yeah. Well, I got your hoodies and I got your hot sauce. So.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, we can awkwardly end the show again. I like the awkward endings.
They're
You
the
know what I
best.
mean? So Super Bowl show. You guys any interest in doing a Super Bowl show?
You want to do it like Saturday or Sunday? I mean,
Sometime
obviously prior to the show.
Yeah, I mean, we could do that. Prime's like, I gotta prep for my Super Bowl party.
If we do it Sunday, we should roll by like latest by noon, I would say.
Yeah, I got no Super Bowl party. I'm good.
All right. I'm good. Be on the lookout for the Talk the Prospect series. I know me and Chris will be linking up with some of these prospects out here. Like I said, man, we're trying to go big this year. And these are first round to second round to third, fourth, and fifth, day 3 as well. But hey, went out here, got some big fish for you guys. Hopefully everyone's going to be locked in for that. Hey man, we're all trying to figure out who the right selections are for the Eagles. Everyone wants to play GM on the timeline. We're going to play GM on 4th and Jawn and do our own little homework, figure out who these guys are. A lot of great prospects to listen to and talk to. And if you guys want to join in the conversation, we'll be doing those live. So look out for that. Any last words, Evan?
I got nothing. Bring fucking James Harden to Philadelphia. I'll cut the ribbon at Delilah's for him. Whatever we got to do to get James Harden here. I don't want to look at Ben Simmons anymore. Let's just make it happen.
Wow, Prime. Can you follow that one?
Nah, I'm just gonna say, enjoy the rest of y'all week. Stay tuned. Appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. Look forward to Sunday when we talk some Super Bowl outcomes between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Rams. Other than that, see you guys on the next one.
I just wanted to give last shout out to Chris Malley, man. Thanks for holding me down on the road trip. Thanks for putting in a hell of a job
staying awake on the drive.
And a hell of a job on the practice field. He did put in work out there. I just want to say I appreciate all the hard work he did down there. It was a great event. Definitely going back next year. But that's all for us for now. We'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, fly, Eagles, fly. Get back to work, Evan.